Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. That always looks kind of cool when I edit it, but without editing, it just looks so fucking stupid. But hey y'all, I am back. And I can't stop doing that, I don't know why, but I have more Christmas scary stories for you guys. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do more of like the mini scary stories, so I decided to go to Reddit and find some Christmas mini scary stories, you know, keep it in the holiday spirit. And I found a couple that I'm really excited to read. I love Christmas and I love just how joyful and how happy everybody is, but then I sit here and I read these like fucked up stories and I'm like, what am I doing? But you guys asked for it and I suck during Halloween, so I have to do something now. Also, do you guys like my sweater? I think I have a real problem with taking my siblings' shit because this is actually my older sister's shirt. If you guys watched my Cindy Lou Who video, I was talking about how I stole my sister's blush because I don't know, I really liked it. And so I brought it back to Texas with me and she actually texted me and she was like, the fuck? But yeah, this is my sister's sweater. I've had this for a really long time actually. I guess she didn't miss it because she's never asked me about it. Through all of the years of getting rid of old clothes, I never got rid of this bad boy. And for good reason, I think. I was trying to find mini stories about Krampus, but honestly, I didn't really like most of them. I was looking through Reddit and then I honestly just googled like Krampus scary stories. A lot of them were very historical and I don't know, I just don't find those as interesting. I don't know, they're not as like spooky and they're not as fun to sit here and listen to. Basically, Krampus is evil Santa, like that's all there fucking is to it, and he eats kids. So we're just gonna read Christmas related scary stories again, kind of like the one I read the other day about the serial killer. The story was so fucking good and a lot of you guys liked it too, so I'm hoping that you guys will like these as well. So the first one that I found is called I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse, except for the young child rocking in the corner, clutched to his chest, a blood-soaked poker, a lifeless body mere inches away, clothed head to toe in the festive of ways, dressed to look like the man of the hour, a red suit and hat, a beard white as snow, his last words being ho ho ho. The child was waiting, his heart full of glee, for his father to awake and see his good deed, for the child stayed awake, awaiting Santa's visit. What he witnessed wasn't what he expected. Under the mistletoe stood two figures, one being Santa, the other his mother, both pulled into a tight embrace, their lips pressed together, what he heard his older brother refer to as sucking face. His young heart dropped and he couldn't understand how his mother could do such a thing to his old man. His feelings soon changed as he felt his face grow hot. A new idea, a new vengeful plot. He hid as his mother went back to her room, and shortly returned to carry out Santa's doom. He slowly crept to the crackling fire, grabbing a poker, a solid rod of iron. He waited until Santa went to feast on cookies and milk, then drew his attention with a shout. Santa turned in surprise, his mouth stretching out to a mile wide. Ho, 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 His words got cut off when the boy drove the poker into his heart. Santa's eyes bulged, his face contorted into a silent scream as the boy pulled it out and Santa fell to his knees. With all the strength the boy could muster, he brought the rod down onto Santa's skull, causing more than just a fracture. With a sickening crack, Santa's eyes rolled back. His body fell lifeless as blood trailed all the way to his sack. The boy saw his handiwork and sat in a chair, munching on a cookie, his face void of despair. He did it for his father, his hero's honor. Santa kissed his mother, and now he's a goner. The hours ticked by till sunlight filtered in, only making the scene much more grim. Footsteps began their descent down the stairs, approaching the boy and the result of an affair. His mother approached, only half awake, until she saw the body and her knees started to quake. With a piercing wail, she fell to the ground, clutching the corpse, her son not showing the slightest remorse, until her hand clawed at the beard, revealing a face the boy knew quite well, the face of his father, the one whose body now just an empty shell. I thought that was the coolest shit. It's a lot different. It's like a poem almost. Well, I guess it is kind of a poem. It was written in the format of a short story, so when I first started reading it, I was like, damn, they really went in with the rhymes. If I read that horribly, please ignore it. I've never read a poem on video before, but I tried my hardest, okay? I just really liked how that one was written. It's a lot different, and I thought it was really cool. Like, it's a very obvious ending to it, but I don't know. I like the way it was written, so I don't know. Oh, and like always, I'll have the stories and the authors linked down below. You guys know how it goes. I think a lot of these are poems, but this one's called My Christmas Curse. 'Twas the night before Christmas, I thought I was doomed. Some creatures were outside the door to my room. I got out of bed without making a sound, not knowing for sure yet if I had been found. I gathered my clothes and got dressed in a minute and picked up my backpack and threw my stuff in it. I go to my dresser and tried not to freak, as opening the drawer made a terrible squeak. With the growling outside growing louder than hell, I grabbed my old gun and a handful of shells. As I opened the window and threw out my pack, they ran at the door, which then started to crack. The first thing I did when I got to the ground was grab all my shit as the door busted down. I ran to my truck by the light of the moon, but my footsteps were heard by the things in my room. As they crawled out my window and right down the wall, I got to my truck, but it started to stall. I then made a decision and ran for the trees, where I hid with my gun and I tried not to freeze. They all sniffed at the ground when they got to my truck. When they turned to the tree line, I thought I was fucked. They got closer than ever, then turned and were gone. I took a big breath as the creatures moved on. I made it to daylight, the coast was all clear, but my demons will come like they do every year. Oh my god, wait, these are so fucking cool. Okay, I've never been a huge poem person either, but I just think these are so well written. What the fuck? Damn, I'm gonna turn into a spooky poem channel. I had to search through like 10 pages to not find a poem, but this one's called Beware of Fake Snow. Winters in the Northeast these past few years haven't been what they used to. Disappointing snowfalls had become the norm, and this year wasn't looking to be any different. Underwhelmed, my friends and I resigned ourselves to building anemic snowmen out of slush piles for the rest of the season. That's when we first saw the advertisement in a store window. Tired of lackluster Christmas? Snow ho ho. And rain or shine, Professor Polar's super secret formula imitation snow will turn your backyard into a winter wonderland. This imitation snow was dirt cheap, easy to make, and no matter how warm the weather got, it never melted. The town was instantly hooked, and bags of the stuff soon began appearing in supermarkets and convenience stores. There was only one catch to this winter in a bottle, printed on the back of the package. Warning, do not under any circumstances use Professor Polar's super secret formula imitation snow for longer than a month. What an odd caution for a simple decoration, townsfolk thought. Concerned parents sent out samples to a nearby science lab and were met with even more surprising news. The fake snow was completely harmless. There were no toxic chemicals in it, nothing unusual about the origin, and no reason it would be dangerous for sustained use. Satisfied by this knowledge, children and adults alike carried on building snowmen, bigger and more impressive than ever before. Unlike their natural cousins, our snowmen were pristine, white, and robust, soft yet firm to the touch. Christmas came, and then New Year's, as more and more imitation snowmen sprouted up around the neighborhood. We should have just heeded the warning, but we were foolish. I awakened one February night to the sound of shattering windows. From the landing, I saw them. Menacing, distorted piles of cold, half shuffling, half slithering up the stairs to get us at last. But these weren't the snowmen we had cherished. These things were more liquid than solid, stained brown and strewn with garbage. They looked like they haven't been touched all winter. Somehow I made it into the attic in time to shut them out. While the screams of my family echoed from below, I glimpsed yet another bag of fake snow in the corner. Inspecting the package, I discovered for the first time that there was more text printed behind the warning label. Warning, do not under any circumstances use Professor Polar's super secret formula imitation snow for longer than a month. It makes real snowmen jealous. I thought it was gonna be some chemical snow that started to hurt the children, but then once I got to the part that was like, nope, there's no toxins in it, I was like, what the fuck? Okay, this one's called Not a Creature Was Stirring. My head under the blankets, my hands over my ears, and my eyes squeezed shut as the noises seemed to finally end after what felt like hours. I didn't dare move from my safe cocoon in the room. I could only pull my hands away a few mere inches from my left ear to hear what may have been my last few moments on Earth. I always found it morbidly hilarious that Santa Claus could be a murderer or some kind of monster. It always made me and my big brother laugh. He's not gonna laugh anymore. The last thing I'd hear is his screams, ending in choking and gurgles and wet rips of flesh. Did Mom and Dad meet the same fate? Was I the only one left? Finally, I heard the sound of footfalls just outside of my room before my door creaked open. I silently prayed that if something were to happen to me, that this doesn't happen to anyone else. If it means Santa doesn't hurt anyone else, I'll be the one to take the bullet. But what I see next horrifies me. He's standing in front of me, but not how I'd imagined him. He's covered in cuts and bruises, covered in black splotches. His beard is torn, and his arm dangles loosely, or rather, what's left of it. In his eyes isn't malice, it's not anger, not rage, but terror. He reaches a mittened hand to my head and whispers, "We gotta go, son. Whatever that thing is out there isn't going to stay down for long." Wait, holy fuck. Okay, I was expecting that to be Santa Claus the whole time, like killing everybody. I was expecting some Krampus shit, but Santa's there to save your ass. All of these have been kind of short, so I'll probably read 2 more. This one's called Mistletoe. Not 2 minutes into the Christmas party, I was cornered by a guy holding up a sprig of mistletoe. He held it up above our heads with a sly grin. "Oh, look at that mistletoe. It means we have to kiss." So I figured, why not? It's Christmas. I'll spread the good cheer. I kissed him squarely on the mouth, quick and painless, and he thanked me before slinking away back to the party. A while later, I had a few drinks and was feeling particularly merry. Through the crowd, I saw the same guy making a beeline for me, brandishing his mistletoe. "Again?" I asked jokingly as he approached me. He smiled in response, but his eyes were darting around the room. "Do you mind?" he said, holding up the mistletoe. With a few drinks in me, turns out I really didn't mind. I kissed him again, no big deal. 15 minutes later, he was back. "I need you to kiss me," he said, his voice much more serious than I remembered. It was a little unnerving, but I kissed him again, and I kissed him the next time he came over, and the time after that. Every 15 minutes, the mistletoe went up over our heads and I indulged him. However, it reached a point to where kissing him just wasn't fun anymore. The next time he came over to me, I told him no. Panic bubbled onto his face. "But you're the only one who will kiss me. Please, I need you to kiss me right now." He raised the mistletoe up over us, but I still refused. He became visibly frantic, grabbing the arm of a passing girl. "Mistletoe," he announced, but the manic edge in his voice and his eyes made her back away from him. He rounded on me again, looking suddenly terrified. "Kiss me," he shouted. He was close to tears. "Please." I almost did. I leaned towards him, but the sight of something behind him stopped me short. A long, pale hand slithered up over the guy's shoulder and curled around his neck. "Please," he yelled at me, but it was too late. I could only watch as the sharp claws sunk into his throat. He coughed and spluttered for a second, blood leaking out over the hand before he simply vanished. He disappeared in a puff of black smoke, the mistletoe in his hand dropping down in front of me. I caught it automatically. With the man gone, the monster's sunken eyes shifted to look at me, or rather, the mistletoe now clutched in my hand. It eyed the sprig warily, but crept towards me, outstretched claws dripping with the man's blood. I understood what I had to do. "Mistletoe," I said, turning to the nearest guy and holding the sprig up above our heads. "Now you have to kiss me." I kept a sly grin on my face, even as I felt long fingers itching up over my shoulder. "Please." Holy fucking shit. All of these stories, I'm like expecting to go in a completely different direction. I have been blessed. Reddit is the greatest website to ever exist. Okay, let's read one more. Okay, this last one is called I Don't Believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in Santa Claus. I've always known he was just made up. Some parents told their kids about him so they would behave during the holidays. Nevertheless, I was always grateful for the double gifts, one from my parents, one from Santa, and would wake up every Christmas morning with a gold and silver wrapped present at the foot of my bed tagged "From Santa." This went on all the way through my high school years, and though by that time I started to feel this was highly unnecessary, I continued to play along. It was just my parents' way of spoiling me. I was their only child. However, it had to stop eventually, and I soon had to leave for college. Christmas came while I was a busy college freshman, but I couldn't help wanting to visit home before the season was over. As I was traveling, however, I received a call from our neighbors telling me to come home immediately. I told them I was on my way, but by then I was a lot less merry and more anxious. As soon as I arrived home, I dropped my bags onto the snow and I pushed past the policemen into my house. There, in the wreckage of the living room, lay the bloody and mangled bodies of my beloved parents. On the walls is what looked to be written in blood, were the words, "Where is she?" Before the policemen pulled me away, however, I noticed a single, untouched gift in gold and silver wrapping under the Christmas tree. I don't believe in Santa Claus, but I do believe in monsters. Oh my god, like, I'm not even kidding. Every single story has a plot twist at the end. What the fuck? At first I was just thinking that it was some psychotic Santa Claus that was killing people, but like, he's literally been sneaking into her room every single year to give her that one gift. Holy shit. I'm gonna read Christmas stories all year because these are fantastic. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm pretty sure we're coming to an end for all of our Christmas videos and I'm actually really sad about it. I'll go back to normal scary stories and your guys' paranormal stories as soon as Christmas is over. But anyways, I love you guys and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I just filmed 2 videos and I didn't feel like making my bed and I just now noticed, like, I looked in the viewfinder and you could totally tell that, like, I didn't make it. I just set this shit up and I was like, you know what, it'll be fine. Like, nobody's gonna be able to tell. But you can kind of tell. I make my bed like every single day. I just didn't feel like making it today. So I'm gonna see it.